So let's get into the drills. How about we do that? How about we go to Drill Town, USA with this? Because they're all over right now. I mean, outside of the ones in Flint, Michigan, Colorado, and now New York City. And, of course, the New York City drill is very close to my heart. We'll go over that one last. This one is out of Colorado's online news leader, Channel 9 News. I think that this is an affiliate of one of the major networks. I can't tell because it prints out weird. The sound of an explosion, racing police cars, and hovering helicopters would normally be the cause for alarm. It certainly would, but not in this case. The chaotic scene in Aurora on Friday will just be a drill. The city's Office of Emergency Management, OEM, oh, they have those everywhere. Yes, it's a federal program. You know, this is another reason that we have to report on these drills because, again, these guys are, they're insane. The insanity is just unbelievable. Let's see. The city's Office of Emergency Management plans to start the training exercise at Buckley Air Force Base sometime after 5 p.m. After a loud boom, emergency responders will race to the base and could impact traffic. Military helicopters will fly pretend victims of a terrorist attack to the Anschutz Medical Campus in Aurora. The drill is a test of how well civilian and military responders work together in an emergency. This is the largest thing I've ever done. So there's over 40 agencies involved. We anticipate that there's over 500 responders as well as over 200 volunteers that are going to play the victims. Oh, those volunteer victims. Unbelievable, folks. Aurora's 9/11 operators are prepared to answer calls about emergency drill. The city will also have recorded information about this on its phone lines and on its website. We have some really nice citizen journalists out there at We Are Change Colorado covering this, so hopefully we will have more news on Monday. But yesterday we talked about these Flint, Michigan drills, and they're very similar. And remember, Flint, Michigan is a place of destitute even further than if you watched Roger and Me from over 20 years ago. If people don't know what that is Michael Moore's first documentary. And he really goes after the car industry there. And he shows how Flint, Michigan had turned into somewhat of a ghost town. Well, it's going to get even worse now that GM is saying, oh, we'll just move our factories, whatever it takes. We'll move them to third world stuff. You know, it's just, it's depressing on one end. And on another end, it's just like, I mean, what are we supposed to do? I mean, all right. What we have to do is we have to hold these people accountable. What we have to do is record what's going on. We have to report to other people that these drills are taking place all over the country, and they are for domestic terror. They intercede with these DHS reports that are claiming that everybody's an extremist and everybody's a terrorist. And by the way, I have Napolitano here. A statement from the U.S. Department of Homeland Security, Janet Napolitano, on the threat of right-wing extremism. Remember, this DHS lexicon report goes far beyond any right-wing extremism. They go into left-wing extremism, hacktivism, anti-technology, alternative media. Apparently, I'm a terrorist, folks. I get up, I read mainstream media articles, and I show clips from the mainstream media, and then I tell you what it really means. I'm a bad boy. I'm not only a bad boy, I'm a domestic threat. And maybe a terrorist. Let me just read this. It's so much doublespeak because remember they said, oh, this lexicon report was never, ever approved. No, it was never approved for anybody. Total lie. It was done in late March, out for almost a month before it got exposed. Somebody basically sent it to a media outlet, and they were like, okay, we're going to show this to the world. They say, oh, we pulled it back immediately. We would never put this out, ever. The primary mission of this department is to prevent terrorist attacks on our nation. The document on the right-wing extremism sent last week by this department's Office of Intelligence and Analysis is one of the ongoing series of assessments to provide situational awareness to state, local, and tribal law enforcement agencies on the phenomenon and trends of violent radicalization in the United States. There is no violent radicalization. Do you understand? And the reason that we read that is because all three of those governments are going to be involved in NLE 09, every single one of them. Local, federal, state, and tribal. Folks, I mean, it's just out of control. Out of control. Let me see what we got here. Let me be very clear. We monitor the risks I gotta read this sentence. I skipped over a sentence, and you know who they go after? Timothy McVeigh. Doesn't matter that Oklahoma City is a black op. Doesn't matter if they're running an ATF drill of the building exploding as it happens. Doesn't matter if all the ATF agents are on the lawn in full bomb gear before it happens. Doesn't matter. They can kill children on television. It's okay. They'll just tell you a bomb exploded outside of it. Meanwhile, I have the SWAT teams, let me say it again, the SWAT teams and the anti-bomb teams going in and taking out explosives. It's on video. It's not fake. It's not Johnny nonsense. It's not some kind of made-up fairy tale land, okay? They went in there. The Governor Keating, gets on 2 separate media outlets and says that it's a sophisticated group and that the bomb squad has taken out 3 unexploded bombs in the building. And it all changes when Bill Clinton sends his terror team down there, one of which said I raced down there to save as many people as possible. Then through an FOIA request, they found out that he was in a hotel 10 miles away the night before. Oh, it's all, and then Wackenhut guards guard the debris so nobody can investigate. Thank God for people like Colonel Paul Craig Roberts that really put out the truth. I mean, this isn't an age before the internet was anything. This is when you could instant message on the internet. Nobody knew what was going on. Nobody understood that if you looked at the actual seismic reports, it showed the explosion came out from the building, not pushed into the building from a Ryder truck. A Ryder truck, by the way, which was photographed on a military base in Oklahoma only weeks before. What the hell was a Ryder truck doing at an Oklahoma military base if it wasn't involved? Then you find out that McVeigh was on military bases for over a year after he was supposedly out of the military. And he was sending his sister letters telling her he was part of a black ops program. Just type in McVeigh, military base, Hustler broke the story of all people. Big ups to Larry Flint for that one. You know, it's not just beaver hunt over there. Sometimes they actually do real journalism. You know, Jason Bermas just promoted a pornographer. He's bad. He's a bad guy. I'm not a bad guy. I'm trying to tell you the truth. All right? She puts McVeigh in this like he's an actual terrorist. No, you set him up. You set him up. And he ain't a good person. He was involved in these black ops to be a patsy. He probably did some really vile, disgusting things. But you know what? It's a false paradigm that they create in your mindset. So, we have to protect against right-wing extremism. We don't want them blowing up another building. I was briefed on the general topic, which is one that struck a nerve as someone personally involved in the Timothy McVeigh prosecution. Yes, that's right. Napolitano was involved in prosecuting this guy. You don't think she's a demon? You don't think she knows what's going on? Give me a break. Disgusting. Let me be very clear. We monitor the risks of violent extremism taking root here in the United States. What violent extremism? The things that you listed, no one's out there shooting anybody. No one's out there pushing anybody around. No one's using violence. If you're anti-illegal immigration, supposedly you're plotting terror, violent extremism and terror on the border. Never happened. No precedent for it. They just make the blanket statement and demonize everybody. We don't have the luxury of focusing our efforts on one group. No, because if we actually did focus on Islamic extremism, it wouldn't work because Islamic extremists didn't pull off 9/11. They know that. That's right. They didn't pull off 9/11. We had drills of running planes into buildings as it happened, okay? We had drills like Operation Jackal Cave going on that day. Give me a break. Drills of hijackings taking place at the same exact time. I mean, how naive and dumb are we as a populace? Sickening. Sickening. We must protect the country from terrorism, whether foreign or homegrown, and regardless of the ideology that motivates its violence. Remember, the war on terror was over, but it seems like everything is still terrorism. And we're going to stay in Afghanistan, and we're going to stay in Iraq. And she's just another talking head. She's just another face for evil. Chertoff was just as bad, if not worse. We are on the lookout for criminal and terrorist activity, but we do not, nor will we ever, monitor ideology or political beliefs. That is a total lie. That is a straight-up total lie. If you read the DHS documents, they tell you they're doing it. They admit it. Read the Virginia Fusion Center document. That's 225 pages long, and it tells you they've been surveilling all these groups. Every one of them. But nah, you won't read it. I made that document up. I mean, we must have made that up. We take seriously our responsibility to protect the civil rights and liberties of the American people, including subjecting our activities to rigorous oversight from numerous internal and external sources. I am aware of the letter from American Legion National Commander Renben, and my staff has already contacted him to set up a meeting next week once I return from travel. I will tell him face to face that we honor veterans at DHS and employ thousands across the department, up to and including the deputy secretary. Yeah, except for the ones that might actually challenge your belief systems, the ones that know the truth, the ones that believe in the Constitution and Bill of Rights and the oath they took to protect it against enemies, foreign and domestic. It's the Infowarrior. We'll be back after this.